What's up, guys? I'm Scuderi here from theScore eSports, here with Sneaky from Cloud9 after a very dominant 2-0 performance. Sneaky, what do you think about those games?
They're pretty interesting. The second game was especially weird because there was, in Keith's build, he went Ghostblade, and then he built Dirk second, which doesn't build into Cleaver. So he's like, oh. So he built the Phage, and then he started building Cleaver, so he just had a random Dirk in there on accident. And then there was just like a point where he was stuck bot lane and tried to kill himself, and I W'd, and he flashed my Dustblade killing him. So overall, the game was really weird. And then Impact and KFO were just fighting like the entire time. He got the most damage because of that. So pretty weird series overall, I guess.
I have a question. So I talked to your players in the past, like Jensen, and everyone says like, oh, we're trying to clean up our gameplay. We want to make sure we can get like these quick, decisive wins. And game one was kind of the opposite of that. Like, why couldn't you guys close out the game, especially the first game, like very quickly?
It probably just has a lot to do with our Baron baiting. I don't think it's as clean as it can be or should be, because a lot of times, I'm not sure specifically what goes wrong, but a lot of times they end up just face checking and maybe not in the exact position to punish it. So like Gragas kept coming in and we didn't actually like kill him instantly when we probably could have. And there's just a lot of that, and that just draws out the game really long because we're not doing Baron, we're not killing anyone face checking, and that just takes a lot of time out of it because then they can try and do stuff on the other side of the map. So I think that's probably the biggest issue, because besides that, we got a lot of advantages throughout the entire map. Like they took bot turret and then they went top, and I got like 2 levels on Keith because of that. So that was a pretty huge advantage, and mid and top are both winning. So we should have been able to close the game pretty easily.
Talk to me about Ezreal a little bit. You see, CLG usually picks Ezreal here and there, but it's really kind of a rare pick in the AD meta pool. Like, what makes him good?
Well, he's definitely a lower tier, just below like Sivir, Ashe, Jhin, and stuff, because he doesn't have as much utility. He's not an initiator, whereas Jhin, Ashe, and Sivir all are initiators, which is probably just the strongest thing right now. And he doesn't provide any of those, so you kind of just have to pick him when all those are gone, or into Ashe, it's okay too, just because you can have a decent lane phase against her compared to some of the other stuff. Like, Jin's pretty vulnerable to Ashe's arrows at most points in the game. Like, she can just chuck one, and Jhin can't really open up with his ult on Ashe because she'll just cancel his. So it's okay in Ashe sometimes, but it's not a top tier pick for sure.
Then what about Lucian? I saw the last C9. I don't want to call it C9 Legends. It's like whatever your show is called, and in that show, they have the clip of you saying, oh, "I don't think Lucian's that good right now," or really like kind of catapulted him a little bit downwards from the top tier.
I think it's just an understanding of the meta more, because TSM was really the only one that was actually spamming him. They had like 15 games in a row or something on Lucian, which is pretty insane. So I think he's kind of been falling off, but it took a while because the top team was playing it. So I don't know. He got nerfed with his Q ratio. The Q range was probably the biggest one, because you can't actually harass for free without getting traded back on. Whereas now you have to like actually go in and try and Q them directly instead of going through the creeps. I mean, you can't go through the creeps, but it's super short range. But yeah, there's that, and then they nerfed Ghostblade. That's basically it. All his item nerfs and Lucian nerfs just compounded into making him a lot weaker than he should have been.
I think Riot confirmed just now that you guys secured 3rd place, and so you're guaranteed to play either Envy or Apex. So tomorrow's game against TL, which is supposed to be like actually what I thought was the match of the week or the second match of the week, isn't going to really amount to anything. Unfortunately, results-wise at least, does that kind of change how you guys are going to play tomorrow?
Well, we knew this going into this week that we had to win our games. We can't rely on the enemies dropping their games, and even though Apex did beat Liquid today, I don't know, we still need to go in strong and beat them, because if they end up just beating us because we're not focused, then it doesn't really look good for us going into playoffs, because if Liquid can beat us, like, how would we be able to beat Immortals or TSM? So it's still an important match for us, and I haven't fully confirmed that we are 3rd place yet. Like, I heard Jensen say it because Freak told him in the interview that because we 2-0'd CLG last time, and when they beat us, it was 2-1, that we have the advantage of that. But I need to make completely sure, because I still want to play my best against Liquid.
I think they confirmed because you guys have the game differential, and that's like the tiebreak, that you guys are guaranteed 3rd. And that's why I think your translator, Robin, told me that you just weren't going to show up tomorrow, like as the whole team. But I hope that's incorrect. I want to ask you, as a person who you're about to play Team Liquid, and even though it's not as hyped as it was before, like what kind of prep do you have against that kind of team? Like where are there holes in their game plan for you guys to really take advantage of them?
Well, that's not something too specific that, I mean, I personally ever look into. I don't know if anyone really does, because a lot of the times it's not so much about what they're doing, it's more about what you can do as a team. So if we're playing well, then we should be able to create our own advantages and make our own plays, more so than looking for their holes in their plays that we could abuse. Because I think that's really odd and specific, because a lot of the games are going to be completely different situations, like pick bans or even what's going on in the games. So it's hard to look at their team and just say like, oh yeah, maybe their top lane doesn't go ward before he pushes top lane or something like that. It's hard to look for that kind of stuff.
How is it working with Reaper as a coach? I've heard a lot of your teammates tell me that he's great. Like he's really, really good, and you guys have a really, really strong translator as well. Do you feel like those were like the missing pieces to be able to work with these kind of foreign players?
Oh, well, for sure. It helps us a lot with Impact. We obviously haven't really had any other foreign players besides Impact. I mean, we had Rush, but he spoke really good English, so he could understand everything that was going on. But Reaper has helped an insane amount. Initially, when we came together as a team in Korea, there was a lot of things that we just weren't doing as a team. Like we weren't grouping up when we should have. We weren't just playing overall together. So he brought that to us. Like he just went through replays before games, after games, in between sets, stuff like that. He would look at the replays and just say, at this point, why didn't you guys move up and siege mid here, or something like that. And it was just a lot of the situations that have made us into a better team right now.
Do you feel like that kind of rotational play is like a strength of C9 right now, being able to like kind of beat people on the macro level?
I don't think we do it as well as TSM does, because there's a lot of points where, I mean, there's like a specific scenario that's pretty dreadful to play against. It's like they'll have pressure in the bot lane and the mid lane, like whether it's the top and mid or the bottom mid, but it's like their duo bot. They'll have pressure there and then the mid lane, so then they'll just walk in with the jungle and they'll take control of the jungle and you can't really fight them, and then they'll rotate between the turrets, and that's really hard to play against, and we're slowly figuring out how to counter it. But yeah, I think their rotational play in that aspect is pretty insane, and we're definitely not up to par with that. I mean, we have some decent rotational plays that we're definitely getting up there, but it's definitely not the highest of NA right now.
And Smoothie recently said in his in the last episode of your C9 Legends show that he decided that him and Medios need to be more decisive for you guys to win games. Do you feel like having a decisive initiator is really, really important for you guys?
Yeah, for sure, because a lot of the plays do come off junglers and supports. Like if Medios is playing Gragas or Rek'Sai, flashing in, getting a knockup, flashing in, body slamming, ulting, that's going to start a fight. And if they're hesitant to do it, then we won't get any fights and we won't do anything, and we'll just kind of bend over. But same thing for Smoothie. Like he can do a lot of things to start fights, and it is definitely a strong trait to have. I don't know. I haven't heard them specifically say that to us. Maybe that was just a video thing that they're working on themselves. But yeah, it's definitely a good thing.
How is your relationship with Smoothie after this whole season? I know at first you guys had 2 supports. Now you're left with just 1. Has your relationship gotten a lot better throughout the season?
It's not really changed too much since we've gotten together. We kind of talk every now and then about stuff, and then every time we screw up in the bot lane, we can talk about it reasonably with each other. I haven't really had an issue with that ever with supports like High, Lemon, Bunny. No one's ever really been fighting like insane amount when one of the other guys screws up. But yeah, it's been pretty smooth overall. Not insane synergy yet, I don't think. Still need a lot more time for that. Yeah.
What do you respect the most about your support?
He's really communicative. He talks a lot about just most things that are going on, but it's not like too much, you know? He's not saying everything that's going on in his mind, but he's saying the important stuff that needs to be said.
Great. Finally, do you have any last-minute words to give to your fans today? You guys did come out 2-0, and you guys, I want to say, have secured 3rd place.
I hope we have. Yeah, thanks for watching.
You heard the man, one of the best North American ADs in NA LCS. I'm Scarra here from theScore eSports. You can find more content online on our mobile app. Thank you guys. Hope you guys have a nice day.